Just letting you guys know you can listen to my No Bleeps podcast anywhere you stream podcasts or on my No Bleeps YouTube channel. Link in the description. Hey guys, it's Philly and welcome back to Spill Sesh. Today we are talking about James Charles because it looks like James Charles is still paying for the price of what he has done, as projects that he has planned for this year have hit the back burner, and he's coming out to talk all about them on his Instagram story. Basically, James Charles did a Q&A on his IG story yesterday and spilled on what has been going on in his life post scandal, since obviously we know earlier this year was not good for James Charles. He was getting called out left and right. People were coming out about him, talking to him on Snapchat, people that were not of age. Everybody was coming for James Charles. Morvie came out and said that they were no longer going to be moving forward with working with James Charles as a partner. It was a massive deal, and as James Charles has come back, he has been posting videos once a week. He has been on his normal schedule, but he has still been posting, and he's been posting content that isn't just makeup related. He's been doing a bunch of random different kind of videos, like cooking videos judging his old outfits, a bunch of different random things that are not just makeup tutorials. He hasn't collabed with any celebrity in any recent time since his scandal, and all of his projects have, like I said, hit the back burner. In this Q&A, James threw in a couple questions that seem to address some of the things that people have questions about, and you guys, he's addressing major drama between him and Ariana Grande. Let's get into it. So on his Instagram story, he said, on the way to a shoot, ask me some questions. And one of the questions was, why don't you post on Tuesdays? Why only Fridays? And he said, I used to upload on both, but I wanted to take a step back. I've been considering switching back to Tuesdays though. He was posting 2 videos a week, and then obviously things had to kind of slow down a little bit because James was getting a lot of backlash for everything that was going on. Now, this isn't the only thing that hit the back burner. James also was supposed to have a podcast come out this year. If you guys have been paying attention to any of these influencers lately, everyone seems to have a podcast, including me. You guys don't listen to it. I enjoy a good vent session about my personal life as well as drama in general, so go check it out if you guys haven't listened to the podcast. But James was supposed to come out with a podcast called Good and Fresh with a bunch of his friends. They built a set for it, and they had an Instagram page, and it has been saying coming soon for the longest time. James Charles does follow the Instagram page for Good and Fresh, so people pretty much assumed that this was for real, and there were photos of him and his friends painting what was supposed to be the background for the video version of the podcast, I could only assume. But James was rather secretive about the announcement of this podcast, but since people kind of found out about it, he was just trying to be funny with people when they asked him about it. Somebody tweeted him back in March saying, at James Charles, will we get video recordings of the podcast or will it just be audio? Please say they'll be recorded. And he said, my podcast? Huh? But in his Instagram story yesterday when he was doing this Q&A, he did address it for the first time when somebody asked him, when is the podcast coming? And he said, we put it on pause for a couple of months, but the set is built and it's fully ready to go. Do y'all still want a podcast? And a ton of people voted yes. So I definitely want to know if you guys would listen to the Good and Fresh podcast. I definitely don't even know if this is actually still going to be something that is for real. I mean, it seems like James is wondering if people still want to listen to this. I don't even know what he would talk about, to be honest. Like, would he do interviews? I have a lot of questions. Anyways, let me know what you guys think it would be about. And the next thing that James had to put on pause is his own makeup line. A lot of people heard that it was going to be coming out this year, and everybody was at first at the beginning of the year really excited for him. Then once the scandals hit and people were talking about him in a very negative light, people were just like, there's just no way this is coming out. And in the Q&A, someone didn't even know that this was a possibility because they asked, would you ever consider making your own makeup line? And he says, it's been in the works for a while now, coming in 2022. Lastly, James Charles merchandise has been put on hold. Sisters apparel is not available to buy at the moment, and people have been wondering when it is actually going to be coming back because James does have a lot of younger fans. His audience is honestly just kids and teens that are watching him for makeup videos or for funny videos and things like that. And people are curious as to when his merch will be back because honestly, I don't even know if people that watch his videos like and love him and are sisters teenagers really know the scandals that have gone on. I don't even think they would be aware of them, which is honestly a little concerning because we're talking about teenagers and James Charles. Anyways, people were asking, when is this merch coming back? And he said our fluffy jackets will be launching in a couple of weeks for fall. Now, the biggest thing that came out of this Instagram story was drama regarding Ariana Grande. There's been a ton of people that have wanted James to do a collaboration with Ariana Grande. A lot of people have been saying, oh my gosh, you need to have Ari on the channel prior to obviously the scandal when he was doing a ton of celebrity collaborations. And so people were wondering why she was never on the channel or why she wasn't saying yes to doing this, because James has worked with really major celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Kylie Jenner. These are really big people for him to have on his channel. So people thought maybe it is possible for him to have Ariana. Well, it seems like there is some loaded drama here, and drama from literally 2018 that is still affecting him to this day. And that is the fact that him and Ariana Grande have beef. Somebody said, what did Ariana Grande do for you to say she's the rudest celebrity you have ever met? And James said, literally nothing. The fact that I said that is one of my biggest regrets of my career, and it still follows me 4 years later, which sucks. I plan on talking about it more in depth when I film my review of Rem. All I can hope is that people will listen with an open mind. So this is a lot to unpack, but if you guys didn't know, Ariana Grande is coming out with her own makeup brand called Rem Beauty. They even asked James, are you excited for Rem Beauty? And he said, I am. I can't wait to try all of the products and film a review for y'all. So it's clear James is a fan of Ariana, and he said this before. He loves Ariana. He loves her music, loves her. But the drama that went down between them was in 2018, and of course, look at Shane getting James in more trouble. So Shane asked James in this video that they filmed together, Shane Dawson and Rylan doing makeup, who is the rudest celebrity that you've ever met? And he said, literally instantaneously, Ariana Grande. And they were like, ooh, oh my God, why? Like, spill the tea, James. And he said he went to an Ariana Grande concert and she saw his Instagram stories the next day, followed him, was like, oh my God, I wish I knew you were at the show. I would have invited you backstage. And he was like, oh my gosh, she was the sweetest. She was the best. But this was when James started to kind of get in some scandal and kind of people didn't really like him. And her fans were like, oh my God, I can't believe Ariana Grande followed James Charles. Oh my God, I can't believe this. And unfollowed James. James said that he said a mean message to her and was just like, I can't believe you're letting your fans like bully me and then you're going to listen to them, and drama. And he's basically saying that what he said in this video is still haunting him to this day, since probably, I'm going to guess that if he says anything nice about Ariana, any Ariana Grande stan is going to comment underneath and be like, well, remember that one time that you said that you don't like Ariana? Like, you don't deserve to be, getting treated nice by Ariana because you talked bad about her. So I can imagine that's why he's saying that he regrets it.
Who's been the rudest celebrity you've ever met?
Ariana Grande.
Can you talk about this?
Yeah, I guess.
Have you ever talked about this?
No.
This is everything.
The next morning I had woken up and she had DM'd me. I was like, oh my God, thank you Rhea for coming. And she was so sweet. And I was like, oh, I love you the most ever in the world. To this day, I don't really have hard feelings about it. I think she's so talented. But she had followed me and DM'd me. And I was like, oh my God, love you the most ever. Like, thank you. And she was like, oh my God, wish I knew you were coming. Like, I would have loved to have you backstage. And I was like, oh. This is right after like all my scandals started happening. So I was getting like a bunch of really, really angry tweets from her fans that were really mad that she had followed me. And literally 4 hours later, I started getting tweets being like, wow, Ariana unfollowed James. Like, the rat gets what he deserves. Like, wow, love karma. And I was like, what the heck? So I checked and she did actually unfollow me, like literally 3 hours after she
Maybe
followed
you
me
just
in the
tweet
first
too
place.
much.
Probably. But I messaged her back and I was like, hey, like, did I do something wrong? And she literally was like, hey, babe, like, I just saw a lot of angry tweets from my fans and I would never want to disappoint them, so I unfollowed. And I sent back like a very like strong word message to her and I was like, you have 100 million fans. It's really disappointing that you would like stoop to the level of listening to people bullying me just to like appease them, but okay.
Also, I just want to add that James called this the biggest regret of his career, and really just this Ariana Grande comment is the biggest regret, not anything else. But anyways, he's clearly saying that he's going to address it in a video. He's going to review her makeup brands and that he hopes people listen to what he has to say with an open mind. Obviously, James was much younger in this video when he decided to go off on Ariana Grande, but I don't know if Ariana Grande fans will be too forgiving, even though James is saying this is his biggest regret of his entire career. But that is what James pretty much had to say. The only other thing is that James did say that LA was toxic. Somebody asked him if he would ever move out of LA, and he said he thinks about it all the time because because LA is fun but toxic, and because of that, he would probably try to move out of it, except for the fact that his friends would not want to leave, and so he doesn't think he could live without them. But I definitely want to know what you guys think about everything that James had to say about his projects hitting the back burner, about Ariana Grande. I'm really curious to know what he's going to say when he does review Rem. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.